Hey, welcome to another episode of Real Conversation. I'm your host, Nicole.
And I'm Shaquana. And today we are just so happy to be back and hanging with you guys, hanging with our fam. We're hoping that everyone had a great Valentine's Day, a great long weekend. I think Valentine's Day, there was like a Friday was Valentine's Day, and then Monday was President's Day. So it was a long weekend for the lovers to be lovers and just to be able to spend some time with your friends and family and those people who you hold dear to you. So let's get this show started. First, I want to say to Nicole, how was your Valentine's Day?
Well, I worked on Valentine's Day, but every day is Valentine's Day for me. So, how was
Mhm.
your Valentine's Day?
My Valentine's Day was really, really good. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the company that I was in, and that's about it. I mean, I really, like I said, I really had a really good time, and looking forward to more Valentine's days to come. So yeah,
Well, I love that for you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think that we had a couple of things that were happening. Was this when was the Super Bowl, girl? Was that like a week ago?
That was a
Was
week ago. That was a week ago. I'm a football fan. I love
mm,
football. I was rooting for the Eagles, of course, because I did not want the Chiefs to win again. But
mm.
I know, though you're a Chief fan, so
Te-
whatever. We
te-
won, you lost. Haha.
no, no, no. Technically, I am a New York fan, and I'm New York down, and I don't jump on bandwagons. So I said, let me root for the underdog, which were the Kansas City Chiefs. I said, let me
Mhm.
root for them. And I was just happy that they got some points on the board. That was my thought. Well, I didn't watch the first half of the game. I
Mhm.
came after the halftime show.
Okay.
So I looked at it. I'm like, wait, my peoples don't have any points on the board. What's going on? And then they started to come and gain the points. But I was like, no, they cannot go out like this in the Super Bowl. We can't do this. So I was happy that they actually had points on the board at the final score. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
they
we got it towards the
bang.
third quarter, right? The third quarter, that's when they put some points on the
I
board.
was like, let me tell you how happy I was. I was like, thank God. And you would have thought I would have bet on the game, child. But
Hmm.
I did not want them to go out with donuts. Like, how you got a donut
Right.
and had like 20 something points or something like that? Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it was.
It was
Uh,
like I believe it was like 30 something points and they had zero on the board. But to me, as a football fan, it's never a good game to see a blowout.
mm-hmm.
You want it to be good entertainment. So it should be a challenge. It shouldn't be a blowout. It's crazy how the Chiefs uh what was it? Their defense line was not even blocking for the quarterback. He got sacked like 7, 8 times. I was like, that's crazy. That should not. The quarterback is not supposed to be touched. So I'm like, how are they able to get him? And I felt bad for him as a football mom. I felt bad for him because I'm seeing him and I'm seeing his facial expressions, and it was like as I'm going to the movies. Okay, you know how like when they sit there and they piss off the line when the quarterback pisses off the line because he makes it seem like he's the one that took care of everything, so
Yeah.
they don't take care of him. That's what it seemed like. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, really, what is going on here? But I'm glad they got some points on the board. Like you said, I am a New York fan through and through, but I love football. I do like the Eagles team that they have this year, and
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong. Last year I was rooting for the Chiefs, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I was like, they already got like two Super Bowls under their belt. Let the Eagles get another one. You know what I mean? They got it back to back. Listen, I'm just saying. I'm just
Okay.
saying. Let them get it.
I believe in let the best team win. And in this case,
Absolutely.
it was the Eagles. They showed up, they
Yes.
showed out the entire season. So I'm happy for them. And they deserved it. Like it was a well-deserved win. My kids are Eagles down, so they were in here. Woo 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 woo. They were going ham, but they, it definitely was a well-deserved win. So kudos to everyone over there in Eagles Nation. I know that they had that huge parade this past
I
weekend, and
heard.
there were over 1 million people there that came out to support them. So that was just a wonderful thing. I'm glad they had a great turnout, and they had an amazing
Of
year.
course, because the Eagle fans are crazy. The Eagles fans are crazy. I've heard some crazy stories about what it is that they do out there in Philly.
I'm,
So
I'm Yeah, so I'm in agreement with you when you said that the football game wasn't as entertaining as it normally is because Kansas City was at 0 points. They didn't put any points on the board until like the third quarter. So I
mhm.
get it. It should be some sort of back and forth that you get excited about, right? If someone punts, if they get a touchdown or whatever it may be, you get excited about that. But it was just like for me, like I said, I didn't watch it. I did not watch it until the third quarter, but
Mhm.
it's like if I was a Kansas City, if I was sitting there, watching it as a Kansas City fan, I'd be like, what is going on? When I watched the highlights and everything, I was like, this is crazy. What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy because like I was telling, like I said, me being a football mom, I'm a football fanatic. I love football. Okay, I
Mm,
love the game.
yeah.
So to see the Chiefs quarterback get tackled, what was that, 7 to 8 times? You are not supposed to touch the quarterback. I don't know what was going on with their D line. Their D line was, I don't know. It was just something out of the movies for me. It was just like he did something to piss them off, and it was like, oh, okay, you think you got this by yourself? You got no protection. That's what it
Yeah.
looked like to me. I seen his facial expression. I was like, oh man, I feel so bad for this kid. But
Yeah.
he did it. He did as best as he could. Football is not a one man sport. It's you literally need your team to get you down that field. So
That is And I'm hoping that wasn't the issue. Oh my goodness, if that was the issue, that is crazy. I didn't really look at any highlights,
mhm,
until they played so badly.
right.
Really look too deep into it, but it was just like they were having a hard time trying to get out the mud, and I'm like, what is going on?
So the
But
crazy part about that, though, sorry I cut you off.
no,
Okay,
you.
the,
Hmm.
the crazy part about that, there's like this big there's controversy that's going on saying that the Chiefs owners basically was paying off the refs, and there were refs that got fired. You know, prior to this game, and it's kind of weird because they don't have their refs and they didn't play so well.
We don't
Or
believe you.
huh?
No, we don't believe you.
Listen. I said, whatever it is, if it happened, it happened. We don't really know exactly what went on or whatever the case may be. But they were saying that when it came to like the playoffs or whatever the case may be, all the games were like tied. This game
Mm,
was a blowout. It didn't make any sense. I've seen the Bills game against the Chiefs, and as a football fan, I feel that the Bills should have won that game, but
mm, mm,
the calls that they were calling, a little sus. I ain't gonna lie.
mm.
But the Bills literally should have won that game. It should have been the Bills and the Eagles who was in that Super Bowl. But it is what it is. They ended
Yeah.
up there. Um, they played as best as they could. I'm hoping that the D line did not leave him out there to for self or whatever the case may be. I was crazy about the interceptions. I was like, when the Chiefs get the intercept, I was like,
Buns. I'm telling you, they
that
were
was
kicking.
good.
And I think, regardless of whether or not they use a ref or they have fixed games, the talent prevailed, right? The Philly did their thing. I'm not even gonna lie. They
Oh
did their
yeah,
on the field that night, and you could tell they were hungry. They wanted it,
it was a
and I
revenge game.
like yeah, period. Yeah. So they were hungry. They wanted it, and they got it. And
Mhm.
Philly was in an uproar over like a million
Yeah,
people at the parade, just having a ball and just cheering on their team, just the pride, the hometown pride that they had for
that was
their team.
awesome.
It's amazing to see. And I'm like, yes, this is great. Again, I wanted, who I wanted to win. But I'm the best team won, and I'm cool
Yeah,
with that. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
okay.
Not
So
entertaining as we would have liked it to be. The game was not as entertaining as
yeah,
we would have liked it to be, but there was some entertainment during halftime. What did you think about Kendrick Lamar, SZA? Who else was there with him? Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel
What did you
Jackson.
think about the halftime show?
So for me, when it comes to halftime, you want to be able to get up out your seat. You want to be dancing. You want to be entertained. Okay. Kendrick Lamar is an amazing lyricist. Okay. I love the songs, but he's not a great performer. So he's not the right person to have for the Super Bowl halftime show by himself, at least. Um, I like Scissor. We love Samuel L. Jackson and stuff like that. I love the message. But other than that, like if we're going off of entertainment, no, he was not
No.
the right person for that. What did you think?
Were you not entertained? Were you not entertained?
About
Um,
Samuel L. Jackson? Yes.
that was my least favorite part of that. He reminded me of the guy,
From Django.
the butler or whatever you want to call him, the house, you know what, and
Yes.
Jane. And I hated him in that movie.
Me too.
That's his least favorite. That's my least favorite role for Samuel L. Jackson. So when I saw him with the Uncle Sam, was it Uncle Sam
Hmm.
something? I was just like, I'm not feeling it, and that just turned me off completely from there.
I knew
Great.
I knew where he was going with it, because of course there had to be a political message.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar. But you know, other than that, I think that there should have been someone else, entertaining everyone. I didn't like that. As great as he is, I mean, he got the publicity that he needed because that's basically what this is. Okay, he got that because I think it was over 1 million people watching. That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay, for him, that's awesome. But
Mhm.
there were people that basically when you see them watching the Super Bowl, they were not happy at all. It didn't matter who it was. All the posts that I seen, they were not happy at all. And you really want to be able to entertain the people who are watching. Get them ready for the rest of the Super Bowl, especially being that it wasn't as great as it should have been. But it's like, come on. But
I
he was
think
awesome. He was good. He was good.
I think that he used the platform to get a
Hmm.
message out.
Yes, he
Kendrick
did.
Lamar has always been that rapper, an intellectual rapper, right? A
Hmm.
conscious rapper is what they call him, conscious rapper. I think that he used the platform that he had to get the message out, and he achieved what he needed to achieve. Um, I don't think that he was even worried about entertaining anyone.
No.
Um, because it was more like, I mean, he put a show together. I thought the show for him was phenomenal. For Kendrick Lamar, for someone who's like a conscious rapper who does not entertain in
Hmm.
that, I thought that it was good. And he had a couple of features that came on with him that would have been able to kind of break up the monotony of the show. But I
Hmm.
think he did a decent job there with what he was trying to do. I think a lot of people enjoyed him coming at Drake at the end of it. They were waiting for that, and I think
I
that's
love that
really,
song.
you know, he got free publicity. He got people now knowing who he is, more people knowing who
Hmm.
he is. Super Bowl is broadcasted in so many different places, so he got people to understand who he is, and then if anything, he got more streams to his music or even more clicks to his website or pages because
Absolutely.
traffic to that so that people can understand who he is and what he's all about, which is great.
Hmm.
I remember I think there was a Super Bowl with Beyonce, Bruno Mars. There was like it was great entertainment.
It
But she
was.
but she got backlash because she had on like the almost a Black Panther all black
Hmm.
suit. So they said she was, you know, using the platform for her political views. And okay, she was.
She
But
was. Hmm.
the difference right between her and Kendrick was that Beyonce danced, Beyonce
Hmm.
shimmied. She did some. She gave a little bit more entertainment, and people weren't really as mad at that.
Right, because
Um,
she's an entertainer, and that's okay. Because
yeah. So
if you remember, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
If you remember, she has a song with Kendrick Lamar, and
Mm-hmm.
that performance was phenomenal. Okay, when you put them two together, oh my goodness, it was amazing, hands down.
But
So
think about it. He didn't do anything there. All he did was
that's
like
it. He was just following her though. Because she was like kicking up the water, doing her little dance, and then he started doing the same thing. It was just like, and but this,
yeah,
but he did what he was supposed to. He came and he did what he was supposed to do. As so did she. She's an
yeah,
entertainer. He's a
yeah,
lyricist, and she can sing her behind off. And it's just is what it is. It meshed well together. I
yeah.
think when it comes to that, they should have did that for the halftime show as well. He
Mm.
did a great job, on his side. Just like SZA did a great job when she came out. It's just that I think it should have been meshed better when it
Okay.
came to you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
If we going on Beyonce and Kendrick,
Mm.
that just was like phenomenal.
He's my girl, so I can't say too much. Yeah, now. But yeah, I think that he did what he came to do. And I think he accomplished what he came to accomplish in that. Many people may not agree with it, but that's okay. He still was there. He still was a
Hmm.
halftime show performer. That is something that he can put on his resume forever. Not many people can.
True.
And I think that, hey, listen, his value just went up a couple, you know.
Absolutely. I
You
mean,
know,
he's a dope rapper.
no,
He's
no.
dope.
Yeah,
He's
it's a
dope.
great. I think that,
Yes.
um, and I'm hoping that this feud between him and Drake stays on wax. Or you know how we used to say back in the day, stays on wax, stays in the
I
music
agree. I agree.
because I remember how that whole Biggie and
Oh yeah.
Tupac thing was in the East Coast, West Coast, and it just was taken way too far.
Yeah.
And with Kendrick and Drake, coming at each other and, including their families and things of that nature. I'm just hoping that this is something that can stay in the music and not bleed into other areas. So
Right.
hopefully that,
Just
and
bring
if
us some good
not
songs. That's all. Great
together,
entertainment.
yeah, it's great entertainment. But Tupac and Biggie, we were hyped when we were coming up, right?
Yeah.
We were hyped on the stuff that they were saying. We were like, yes, oh, we can't wait for the rebuttal. We can't wait for the response. But then
The
it just
same
was,
for
it,
LL Cool J and Kumo D. The same thing.
oh, yeah, that's right.
I took it way back.
Yes,
Yeah.
there been so many rap battles,
Hmm.
and not all of them have ended with in 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 deaths.
Hmm.
The most prominent one was the Biggie and Tupac beef, and I'm hoping that this doesn't go that far. Keep it in the music, and then kiss and make up later on and move forward. But other than that, I think that the halftime show was okay. Not my cup of tea, but I think that he came to do what he set out to do, and he did it well.
He did do it well.
Yes, he
And guess
did. Yes,
what? We're here talking about him, so he did a
exactly.
phenomenal job.
And if that
That
was
part.
the purpose, he has achieved it, right? Like, come on.
Absolutely.
So many people are talking about him. Whether it's
Mhm.
good press or bad press, they're talking about him. So hey, whatever. That's good for him. His name
Absolutely.
hashtagging and it's trending. He's trending.
They got so
President
many memes and videos out there for him, so good job, Kendrick.
my favorite one when he was like, "Say Drake, I heard you like him young," and
Woo!
like the different memes that are out there. I'm like, y'all wild. I'm a Drake fan, so it is like, whoa, like they doing why they doing him dirty like that? But then I think there was something. He went out to a show and he had like his shirt, his sweater smoking from the bullet holes that
Of
Kendrick
course
was
he
firing.
did.
And I was like, that's a great way to put it because you got burnt, boo. You got burnt. Kendrick
But I
burnt
love
you.
that. I love how he did that too.
Yeah, I was happy that he was able to even take it on a chest like that and be like, all right, whatever, you got that. Moving along, you
He got
know?
next. How about that?
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Waiting for
I'm
that.
excited. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I think summer's gonna be a good time for music. I'm excited for it.
Ooh,
So,
I'm
but
excited.
and that's speaking about the politics and the just the message that Kendrick was trying to relay,
Hmm.
and kind of putting a wide angle lens on what's happening in America and specifically Black America.
Hmm.
I did a good job of putting that out there, but there's some other shenanigans that were happening during the time as well. I think I think it just happened like over this past week. Like what's happening with Elon Musk and his son and at the White House? Nicole, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
So apparently, Elon Musk had a press conference in the Oval Office, and there was Elon, his son. I think his son had to been like between 2 or 3 years old, or maybe four, give or take. Um, and President Trump. As Elon Musk is, saying what he's saying, his little son go he he's speaking to Trump, to President Trump, and he's basically saying, he told him, you're not the president. You're not supposed to be here.
Mm, mm.
I wonder where he gets that from.
I was
But
gonna
that's not
say,
it. That's not all he said. He also said, shut your effing mouth.
wait, this was on camera?
Yes, this is on video. This
Oh,
is an actual video, and you hear what he's saying. Someone actually tagged his mother in it, which is crazy. And she didn't even know it happened. So she was like, "Thank you for tagging me," because she was going to handle it because he shouldn't even been in the office. I was like,
mm.
"Wow,
What that tells me is that he's listening to grown ups talk.
of course."
um, he's listening to what's going on in their house, and those are true feelings. And from what I understand, Elon Musk is a very smart guy, but he also likes control. He likes power.
Hmm.
That's Trump. But I don't think that Trump is realizing the agenda. I don't think that he's realizing what is actually going on in the background and
Hmm.
what is being worked out in the back. Like there's a lot of moving parts going on in the background that I don't think he's paying attention to.
Agree.
Um, and this is going to be interesting. 2025 is going to be interesting to see how these two, Elon Musk and President Trump, work together. Because it seems as if there will be a struggle of power. There'll be a power
Oh, of
struggle.
course.
There'll
Yes.
also be some abuses of power to come. I mean, it's we already see.
It's already going on.
Yeah, we already see it, and I'm like, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So yeah,
I found it to be very weird that Elon Musk is holding a press conference in the Oval Office.
that
Why?
because he listen, that is the epitome of me. Excuse me, that is the epitome of I'll take your spot. I
Yeah.
want your spot, and I'm not being quiet about it. I'm letting you know that I'm the best person for the job, and you're placeholder for now. But
Hence the reason why his son said, "You're not the president. Why are you here?"
yeah, you don't have the power that you think you have
Hmm.
to prove that. So again, an interesting 2025 we will be having, as well as the next 3 years after. So we'll see. This whole presidential term is going to be a whole debacle. The shenanigans have begun, and I'm here with my popcorn, ready to take in what's about to happen. And yeah, so and ready to take action if need be.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So
Okay,
that,
so on that note,
mm-hmm.
uh, let's get into this little hot topic that we got for today. So I came across this you know, a video that I watched, and I was very intrigued on what this young man was talking about, and it's something that I felt that we should talk about. Um, it's basically like, are men choosing the women that they want, or women who they feel that will validate their ego? What's your thought on that?
I think it's both. I think that men are choosing, especially now, men who are conscious of what a partner means and what a partner and how a partner adds value
Mm-hmm.
um to them. I think that there are men that are choosing their partners in the correct way. But there are also men and that are choosing their partners based upon ego, based upon the fact that these women feed their ego. And
Mm-hmm.
in some cases, if a woman if a man can bring everything to the table, finances, security, all of that good stuff, and the woman just takes care of the home, I think that feeds their ego in a way that, okay, yes, I'm the man, I'm taking care of her, and I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
for her. The issue becomes what happens when that's not enough, when you're
Mm-hmm.
expecting her to do more, but she doesn't, or is not willing to, because everyone's capable of doing more,
Mm-hmm.
but not willing to do more.
Mm-hmm.
How is your ego then?
So let's take the kids out of the equation. We're going
Okay.
to talk about women who there are no kids. They don't work. The men, the women might look, the way they look, the way they dress, the presence that they hold. So the men, they wear them like an armor. They're happy to bring them in and do all the things that they're doing. But then 15, 20 years later, maybe let's say 2, 3, 5 years later, because it don't
Mm-hmm.
really have to be 15, 20 years later,
Right.
complaining about them, because these women are not just they're takers. You know what I mean? They sit up there and they take everything that you give, but they're not replenishing these men. You understand? They're not giving back to these men. So to these men is considered to be burdens. They're carrying these women. So these women are they are like dead weight to these men. You know what I mean? So if someone if these men, just like women, we have to have boundaries. These men too need to have boundaries. And
Yes.
instead of you sitting up there taking on a woman who causes more problems for you, How about dealing with a woman and stop being, insecure to deal with a woman who already has her own bag? Because when they come together, right? What happens? You guys make magic because both of you are equally putting into the cup. So that means whatever is spilling over, like the cup is runneth over, right? So it's like
Mm,
you're sitting up there. It doesn't matter who's taking from it because guess what? It's being filled back up.
yeah.
So
Okay.
you're never without. So those are the type of this is what that's what I meant by what I said. And
Hmm.
that's why I said let's take the kids out of it because obviously if it's a woman who's home, she's not working, she's taking care of the kids, she's working. You know what I mean? So that's a little
So
different from this right here.
okay, I think I understand. But the other side of that is if and if I understand what you're saying, if a woman, if a man is allowing a woman to be that,
Hmm.
and he's almost, a sugar daddy in many cases, or just somebody who's going to take care of her,
Hmm.
and that's the agreement from the beginning. What changed? What happens when now she's a freeloader and she's not pulling her weight? What happened?
I think that's where the burden comes because if um if he I mean if there I don't know so much of it being an agreement. I think it's more of because these men sit up there and they give, they give, they give because they're givers, right? And these women, it doesn't have to just be women, it could be vice versa. If you're the woman giving and it's the man taking, vice versa, it doesn't matter how this goes. But uh it's the person is being depleted, and what happens when you're depleted? You need something. So prime example, when you're thirsty, right? You pour water in the cup and you drink it, right?
Yeah.
So what happens? You can't pour into an empty glass, right? You can't. If I have a bottle of water is empty and I'm trying to pour my water, but it's empty. What water am I putting? You need something to be replenished. So it doesn't matter. Let's say if the person is not working or whatever the case may be, you have to still be able to do something to be able to replenish that man. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Uh,
However it is, like if it's asking him about his day when he comes in the house, if it's cooking dinner, if it's however it is, because it's going to be different for everybody in their household, you
mhm.
know. Um, but you're never supposed to be dead weight to anybody, to anyone.
Yeah, and I feel like that ego, ego and pride have play a lot of it. Ego and pride plays into that
Hmm.
because there's some men who are okay with that and then flip the game, flip the script and say, well, she's not doing what I need her to do, right?
Hmm.
But then once they find somebody who's on their level and can bring the table, can actually set the table, put the forks and the knives down, then it's like, oh,
Hmm.
she's independent, right? Or
Yes.
she doesn't allow me to be the man. Now there
Mm.
can be a happy balance. There can be a happy medium there, and it's just
Right.
about that and communicating that with your partner. Okay, because I feel like I am an alpha female, but I
Hmm.
can around the right person be that lead, that follower. But I'm not going to follow you if you're not doing the right thing.
Right.
It's
I
like
mean,
sick, the body is sick. Like I'm not following. You will have me sick too. No, I'm not.
there's nothing
But
wrong with a woman being submissive. Like we submit all the time.
all the
Alpha
time,
females, okay? And the alpha female is basically a person that sits there and takes care of her own. Just for
yeah,
those of you who do not know what that means.
yeah,
And just because we take care of our own doesn't mean that we can't submit to the person that we're supposed to submit to. And that doesn't mean everybody, just so you know.
Mhm.
Like she said, if you're sick, no, I don't want to get sick with you. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna back myself up right up over here. Okay.
Mm-mm.
You go get well over there.
Yeah.
But
We don't
yeah,
always
like
want to be hard. We want to be in our soft girl era sometimes, you know.
yes.
We want to be in that soft girl energy because it's important. We need to be able to balance those that masculine and that feminine out. But
Absolutely.
that's just for females. But for the man feeding his ego,
Hmm.
with a person that may need him, some people need to be needed. Some men need to have somebody depend on them, and
I
that
don't
I don't know
understand
if that's that it needs to be diagnosed by a PhD,
that.
but there are some men who need that and some women who need that as well.
Yeah.
So does that feed their ego in a way? It does, but then again, it also hurts them, and to a certain extent, because now once they grow up and realize, once they are no longer willing to be the person that is dependent on,
Hmm.
they want to be codependent in a sense, then it becomes an issue. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I think we need
Yeah,
a man.
leave the needy women alone. Like you can't complain about a needy woman if that's who you're choosing, because it's also your choice. You chose that person.
Yeah. And set your boundaries. Like at this
Hmm.
point, you're allowing this person to take from you. And if you're a giver, most times you attract takers,
Yeah,
right? But you have to set your boundaries, and say no more. This is what I'm willing to give, and this is and it has to be like an equal give and take. You can't continuously give 110% while somebody gives you 5,
yeah,
or maybe
that scale got to be balanced, man.
yeah, skills have to be balanced, and hopefully, but boundaries have to be put into place, and because you can't get mad at that woman because you decided not to place any boundaries there. That's your fault.
Message.
I get mad at a man for taking advantage of me if I didn't place any boundaries there. But
Yeah,
when I put them boundaries there, when that man puts those boundaries there, don't you be mad at him for putting them there,
and
because
don't
he's
be scared to set those boundaries. Don't be scared.
right, right, exactly.
Teach
Don't be
somebody how to treat you.
enforce the boundaries. I think Chloe Bailey has a song "Treat Me Like I Treat Me." Like, listen, but your boundaries are indicative of how you treat you and how
Hmm.
you care. That's a form
That
of
part.
self-love. So put your boundaries up, and make sure that people are treating you the way that you want to be treated, the way that you treat yourself.
Absolutely.
That's it. So
Hello.
hey, that was a good
I
one,
love
Nicole.
that.
So, well, we just thank you all for joining us here on Real Conversation. Again, I am Shaquana Terry,
And I am Nicole.
and you can catch us on YouTube, live on YouTube every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do cross posts across let's see, Facebook and Instagram, as well
And
as you.
TikTok.
It actually premieres live on YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday night. So, Real Conversations is the name of our podcast. Real Conversation is the name of our podcast, and you can find us at real underscore convos underscore podcast. Right,
Hmm.
that's where we are located on YouTube and Instagram, and I believe as well as Facebook. So, and we do have an email. So if you need to email us, please do so. Nicole, what's that email address?
On Facebook is Real Conversations.
Okay.
Conversations. But the email is realconvospodcast@gmail.com. So you can email us your any questions that you have for us. You can if you would like to be a guest on our show, you can come up, you can email us there. And you know, we look forward to speaking with you. And oh, what was you gonna say? What was you gonna say? Because I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was gonna say email you questions, but I was like, oh, that's Nicole. Let me let her do that because you have the email. Oh, it's fine. I have nothing else. I have nothing else to say.
Okay, so thank you guys. We appreciate you guys for being here. And Shaquan already gave you all the information. So have a great evening.
Listen, enjoy, and God bless. Thank you for watching.